everyone, this is Trader AG and welcome to another public update. Today I'm going to talk you through what has happened over the last couple days on Bitcoin. We had a major crash and I think a lot of people got liquidated, so I'm going to talk you through why that move happened, and also I'm going to talk you through what could happen next on the market, because I have a good understanding of what levels to look out for and also which levels that we should reclaim before taking new positions into the market. So first things first, what happened in the market? Well, since I made that last video, I think we had a really strong downtrend, especially on Sunday night. We saw this major move, and the move was actually with increasing open interest, and we had a lot of shorts coming into the market, which was a sign of strength on the chart. And I think that move could have been reversed on Monday, but we actually ended up going up to 81,200 before reversing. And now, since that Monday high, we have just been grinding down, and we have a really sad situation, to say the least, on the market. And I told people on Twitter and on my tag team Discord as well that I only look for longs at these areas right here. And the reason is, if I look at the chart on the daily perspective again, you'll see that this is the range that I gave you around a month ago. And I told you that when we are at range lows, right, when we are at the area between $80,000 to $76,000, I'm not going to be looking for short positions. And same goes for the highs as well. If we are around 95K to 92K, I'm not going to be looking for longs. And the reason is not because the move or the price can't just push up and just make new highs, or the price can't just go down. It's because if I'm longing at the highs, I'm longing into resistance. And if I'm shorting at the lows, I'm shorting into support, which is something that a professional trader does not do, right? We don't know how, the habits or what time of day they wake up, what the traders do, but number one thing we know is they don't short support, they don't long resistance, right? That's number one rule. So that's why if we're at these levels here at $77,000, can we push down? Can we currently just do this move and then just grind down and go lower? Obviously, yes. But does that mean that this is a good area to short? Absolutely not. So that's the number one thing that you have to get in your head, because currently, if you ask me, this is obviously a bearish outlook as well in the market, but it does not mean I'm looking for shorts, right? I'm looking for long positions, and that's been my stance since we had this Sunday break. Now, I took some long positions. I am in a long right now from 76,000, what was it, 76,700 or something like that, or 75,700, something like that. And it was a scalp long position. But I think if you are a beginner trader, or if you're into the market as a swing trader or someone who does not have a clear system in their heads, I'm going to give you what levels you should look out for in the market before taking new positions, because it's really simple for me, and I'm going to explain it to you as well. Now, first things first, we are between this weekly open level right here and also the daily open level sitting at 76,200, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So we are between these two levels, and I think they are the most crucial levels of this week. I think above this weekly open, it would be a really big sign of strength on the chart, because going above the weekly open means that the price try to push down, right? Since that Monday high was tagged, we saw that the price has been grinding down and tried to make a new low, but it was unsuccessful in doing that new low. And we saw a lot of shorts come into the market in this zone as well, which means that people were actually trying to short the market. But if we are able to reclaim this weekly open, that will be a really good sign of strength into the market, because it also means that we are back inside this big range we had on the chart as well. Now, does that mean that if we just reclaim this weekly open, we're going to $90,000 next? No, but I think that is the number one area that you should look out for if you are just in this market as a swing trader or someone who doesn't have a clear system in their heads. For me, if we are able to claim this weekly open, as I said, there will be a lot of people who are trapped between these levels right here, right, between these lows, and this will be a classic failed auction in the market. And if you know the market manipulation patterns, or if you watch the video about absorption that I've made on YouTube, you know what that means. And for me, number one thing here is that if we are able to reclaim this range low, it would mean that people who have been shorting the market since that Monday high was taken are now trapped in their positions. And I think that's the number one bullish sign in the market. And if we are able to reclaim this weekly open, I would simply look for number one, this high right here. So I would look for new weekly highs to be put in. And number two, a really easy spot to find as well is the POC of this range. If I go on the 4-hour chart and if I just zoom out just a bit here, you'll see that the POC of this range comes in at around $83,000, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let's quickly see it for ourselves. Yes, it comes in at 83,100. So if we reclaim this weekly open, first things first, I would look for new weekly highs to be put in, and then I would look for this POC level sitting at $83,000. Does that mean that I'm going to short this market at these levels? No, but I could, right? I don't know what's going to happen at these levels if we go there, but if we go there and if we see some signs of absorption or some signs of weakness, I will be looking for short positions there as well. So right now, I am not looking for any short positions. I have taken around 5 long positions over the last 4 days on NQ and on Bitcoin. So I am fully in the mode of looking for longs. And the reason is because we are at support. It does not mean that the price can't just fall down from here. But if the price just goes lower, I will just keep longing market, right? When I see signs of strength on the market, and for me, those are different because I have a system in my hand. If you don't have a system, please just look for this weekly open to be claimed. And if you see it claimed, I think it's a safe place to look for long positions up to this high and then up to the POC level sitting at $83,000. Now, what happens if the opposite happens, right? What if we take the daily open insight? I think if we go below the daily open sitting at 76,200 here, I think that would be a really major sign of weakness on the chart as well, because since that low was put in here, I think a lot of people expected this low to be taken, including me. And when we don't take that low, you don't want this move to be elongated, right? I'm going to go on the 1-hour chart to explain what I mean. When we have a low that does not include a lot of retail, right? And this low is one of them because no one is going to be long in market here. I think all of the people will be waiting for this low to be taken. A lot of the people in the market will be sidelined, which means that you want this move to be strong. So you don't want a move where we create these lows right here, we keep ranging here, we do this move. I think this would be a really bearish sign in the market. So that's why we have to go above the weekly open as soon as possible. And if we are losing the daily open sitting at 76,200, I think that's another sign that, okay, this move is getting elongated now, and the chances are we're going to keep making new lows. So if we make new lows, I'm not going to be long in the market at every level. I'm going to be looking for signs of strength. And for me, the number one, the easiest one here is if we get another swing failure pattern of these lows right here. So if we go below these lows, if I see liquidations here, if I see new short positions open, I'm going to be looking for long positions on the reclaim of these levels right here, right? So you can even look for a market structure change here because that usually gives out the easiest and simplest trades here. So you're looking for the market to first take the lows, you want to see liquidations here, you want to see shorts opening here, and then you want to be high to be made, a low to be made here, signs of absorption, and when we take that high again, now you can look for long positions into the market, aiming for either these highs or these highs next. So that's the number one thing I'm looking for if we take these lows. And if we don't react from here, if we end up going lower, I think the place that you should look out for comes in below $70,000 next. We have great levels below $70,000. The number one thing is the daily here at 67,788. The number two is the 66,584. And the number three is the weekly MPOC at the 65,750. And if we are able to go below this $70,000, I think a lot of people will turn bearish. There will be a lot of FUD in the market, including the MicroStrategy stuff, right? Even though I know they're not getting liquidated, a lot of people will think that they're getting liquidated, or there will be a lot of reasons for people to leave their trades or be bearish, open short positions, call for a bear market. And I think they will forget that we are actually around $40,000 below all-time high, which we are already having the bear market here. So I think that's why these are great zones to look for long positions, especially, right? I think a lot of the people in the market, if we are able to create new lows and start going down here, they will either look for the $70,000 range or zone to give a good reaction, right, like this, or they will look for a swing failure pattern of $70,000. So they will look for $70,000 to be reached and breached, and then move like this where it takes them up. So I think those moves were great moves that could have happened in 2020, 2021, but in 2025, these moves usually don't happen like that because of how much money there is in the market. And I think what the most common pattern we see in the market is a range to form at a level where people do get bearish and wait for them to be depressed and take short positions. And while that happens, for the big players to actually get into longs and then push the price up. So what would I look for here? I would simply look for the price to break $70,000, not to get an amazing reaction, and form a range here for maybe a month, for maybe 2 months here, where just price goes sidelined and we just keep breaking $70,000 to a point where people are actually looking for 60K, 50K, 40K. And at that point, if you see some signs of bullish absorption, or if you see a simple break like this where we have a failed auction of these lows, I think this gives you the best long setup in the market. Now, this could take you a month or month and a half to form or have a great setup, but these are the setups that you can actually take to all-time highs or basically $20,000-$30,000 above the price. So that's why these setups are worth it, and that's why they're worth waiting for as well, right? So you're waiting for a range to form around $70,000, and then you're looking for a failed auction or a swing failure pattern of that range before taking positions. So I hope I made that clear. I think I have a really clear stance on this one. If price goes up, I have a clear plan. If the price goes down, I have a clear plan as well. And I've been sharing that with my team every single day on the Discord as well. If you want to join there, if you want to have the education on understanding how these ranges are or how to trade order flow, you're more than welcome to join there. But that is my analysis for Bitcoin. I hope that was clear. And I can quickly move on to the ETH as well here, because I think we have a similar situation on ETH as well. I think this is in a classic bear market. If I go on the 4-hour chart, you will be able to see that it's not a good look, right? I think a lot of people will keep buying this thing, but if you just look at it on the macro perspective, it's a classic bear market, right? You have a high, a lower 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 high, and we keep making new lows. So I think the safest option to wait for ETH is actually waiting for a clear sign of strength on this coin first. And I'm not talking about a clear sign of strength like when I use the magnet here, I'm not talking about a clear sign of strength where you just get this trend line here, and because this will be what people will be looking at first, right? So people will be looking for this trend line to be broken like this, and they will be looking for longs, right, like this, and then most likely the outcome here is that we'll just keep going sideways here. So don't look for trend lines, because I think everyone is looking for that anyways. I think the number one thing you can look for is the volume profile of this downtrend. So if we are able to get inside the volume profile, the value area low, or go above the POC level, that is the number one sign of strength on the chart. And where does that level come at? I'll quickly tell you. If I just pull from this level here, the start of this downtrend, to now, you'll see that the POC and the value area comes in around $2,700. And again, you might say that's $1,000, $2,000 above the price. Should I wait for that? Well, you don't have to wait for it. You can try to look for longs here, but the problem is, as you long the market, you will just keep getting stocked out because it's in a bear market, right? You might miss out on the first $1,000 of the move waiting for this value area low to be taken, but you will have higher probability setups where you can actually have invalidations, you can have clear stops, and you can have clear targets in the market. So what I'm looking for here is I'm not looking for any longs on ETH, especially in the long term. I think a lot of people will tell you long when the 1,500 liquidity is taken, long when 1,200 liquidity is taken, long when $1,000 liquidity is taken. But the problem is that there's liquidity everywhere, right? The price can right now go down 50% more and still look bullish to some people. So that's why you need to have a clear understanding of where you're interested in the market. And for me, I'm not interested in longing this market as long as this range low is not cleared, right? So I just want a good sign of strength before I enter a long position in ETH. So I hope I made my point clear here. And that is it for me. I will see you on Friday as well, either Friday or Saturday, where I will make a video about the trades that I took this week, because it's really important to understand how I get into positions, why I get into positions, and also what's my confirmations, right? If you understand those things, maybe you will be more inclined to learn how to trade ranges and trade order flow. And thank you so much. And if you want to join the tag team, you want to learn how to trade these things and trade ranges, read order flow, you're more than welcome to join there. We have 4 or 5 hours of educational content there. And yeah, I'll see you next one. Bye bye.